Guys, the first bourbon comparison on the channel, and this is coming from a novice bourbon drinker. We got the Smoke Wagon Straight, which is a 4-year bourbon, going up against the bourbon that I forgot to put the cork back in, the Smoke Wagon Small Batch, which is a blended bourbon, and anywhere from aged 4 to 8 years, mixed bourbons, aged 4 to 8 years. Just had both of them, and with a few minutes in between, couldn't tell a whole lot of difference. So let's see what we got. Going for the straight first. And like I said, I'm a very novice bourbon drinker. I drink it every once in a while, but I couldn't tell you much difference in a lot of them. Now, some of them you can definitely tell a difference, but some of them you're like, what in the world? But, so this is the Straight, which is a 4-year that they came out with in 2019. And you're looking at a $25 and tax bottle of bourbon. So they said they want to come out with a lower priced, drinker friendly bourbon. Affordable everyday bourbon, according to their website, which it is that. High rye content, mash bill, all that stuff. Their notes, their tasting notes have honey, toasted nuts with some oak and heat. I didn't get any heat off this one. Maybe a little bit of honey, but no, not getting any toasted nuts. And this is a lower proof bourbon. You're looking at 92.5 proof, so not real low, but right under that bottled in bond of 100. So 92.5, 4-year Smoke Wagon, $30 out the door, bottle of bourbon that seems to be readily available where I'm at. That's the problem with a lot of these bourbons. You just can't find them when you want to find them, so you got to conserve them when you get them. Definitely getting some honey off of that. Lighter color. And I don't know, people talk about legs, but I'm looking at long, skinny legs, if that's what that is. If not, I'm looking at bourbon draining down a glass. But very mild, but don't get any heat off of that. And I'm not getting any toasted nuts. I'm just not there yet. But let's try it. It's very mild all the way around. Like, you take some of these and they just punch you in the mouth. But this is very mild. A good everyday drinking bourbon. I would agree with that. A little bit of honey. So we'll put that to the side and move on to the small batch. Blended, they want to do a high rye content. They combined multiple vintages of the same mash bill. See what they say. It's aged in the heart of century-old brick warehouses. Barrels are hand-selected to create a perfect blend that is smooth. So let's see what we got there. Still got a little bit left in my glass. A little darker than the Straight, Smoke Wagon Straights. And according to the website, this is... It got some kind of gold medal in San Francisco. People out there don't know what they're talking about anyway, but let's see what we got. Released in 2016. The other one was 2019. High rye content bourbon. The problem is that rye ages much faster than corn. Didn't know that. Younger vintage had a big rye spice flavor. So this, they combined the two, a younger and an older bourbon, or a bunch of youngers and a bunch of olders. But the nose, instead of honey, they're doing balanced oak nose with hints of fruit and dried apricots. Oh boy. I get a lot of oak, if that's what that is. I don't know. I don't really sit around sniffing oak barrels all the time. Maybe if an apricot was like 100 miles away, you might say. I don't know. Legs are a little bit slower coming down the glass, if that's what that means. So, let's try it. Definitely a little more heat than the other one because it is 100 proof. This small batch is 100 proof. I'm getting maybe some oak off of that. After reading fruit, maybe, 0.1% of fruit. Haven't had an apricot in a while, but I don't imagine they taste like that or smell like that. But not a bad bourbon. Definitely drinkable. Is it worth double the price as the Smoke Wagon Straight? Not in my opinion, and this far into my bourbon journey, because I don't know that much about it. But you're looking at, I think the store I got this from said it was kind of hard to get right now. I don't know if they were lying to me or trying to sell a bottle of bourbon, but I think this was $55 and some tax. So double the price of the Smoke Wagon Straight, which after having the two side by side, I would not pay double the price. Decent bourbon, but not one of my favorites that I've had so far. So I'll be bringing you guys some bourbon reviews in the future out of my newly acquired Glencairns. So stay tuned.